You see someone struggling with grocery bags in the parking lot. You notice, you register it, and then you keep walking. Or maybe you're scrolling through messages, someone asks for a favor, and you feel your chest tighten before you've even read the full sentence. You don't respond. You tell yourself you'll reply later. You never do. It's not that you're cruel. It's not that you don't care. But somewhere inside, when the opportunity to help appears, something in you quietly pulls back. You've been called selfish. Maybe you've called yourself that too. But here's what most people don't understand. The refusal to help isn't about lacking empathy. It's about how your brain learned to survive. Let me be clear about something first. You are not broken. This behavior, the one that makes you feel guilty at 2 a.m., the one that makes you avoid eye contact when someone needs something, it makes sense. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's protecting you in the only way it knows how. Because here's the thing, helping others requires something most people don't talk about: emotional bandwidth. And if your bandwidth has been drained for years, if you grew up believing that your needs didn't matter or that giving meant losing yourself entirely, your nervous system learned to shut the door before anyone could even knock. Let's start with the first truth. Some people avoid helping because they never learned that they could say no and still be safe. This sounds backward, but follow me. If you grew up in an environment where you were only valued when you were useful, where love was conditional on how much you gave, your brain made a calculation. It decided that the cost of helping was too high, because helping didn't just mean effort, it meant erasure. Think about the child who becomes the family therapist at 10 years old. The one listening to their parents' problems, managing everyone's emotions, holding space they didn't have the capacity to hold. They learned early that helping others meant abandoning themselves. So as an adult, when someone asks for something, even something small, their body remembers. It remembers what it felt like to dissolve. And it says no, not out of cruelty, but out of self-preservation. Then there's the second layer. Some people avoid helping because they're already drowning. You can't pour from an empty cup, the saying goes. But what they don't tell you is that some people have been running on empty so long they forgot what fullness even feels like. When you're overstimulated, burnt out, emotionally exhausted, the idea of taking on one more thing, even a kind thing, feels like being asked to carry a boulder uphill while you're already on your knees. You see this all the time. The person who works 60 hours a week, comes home, collapses on the couch, and can't even respond to a friend's text asking for advice. It's not that they don't care about their friend, it's that their nervous system is in survival mode, and in survival mode, the brain doesn't have the luxury of empathy. It's too busy trying to keep you alive. But here's the part nobody tells you. Sometimes avoiding help isn't about exhaustion, it's about control. When life feels chaotic, when everything around you is unpredictable, saying no becomes one of the few things you can control. You can't control your job, your relationships, your future. But you can control this. You can control who gets access to your time, your energy, your presence. And in a world that constantly demands more, that small piece of control feels like oxygen. This is where it gets complicated. Because the behavior that once protected you starts to isolate you. You build walls so high that even people who genuinely care can't reach you. You become known as the person who doesn't show up, and the shame of that label makes you retreat even further. There's also a quieter reason some people avoid helping. They don't trust it. They've seen help weaponized. They've watched people give with strings attached, with expectations embedded in every gesture. So they learned that accepting help, or offering it, meant entering into an unspoken contract. And contracts can be broken. Contracts come with debt. If you've ever had someone hold a favor over your head, remind you of what they did for you during an argument, use their kindness as leverage. You know this feeling. Your brain remembers. It says, helping creates obligation. An obligation feels like a trap, so you avoid it altogether. You stay neutral. You stay safe. And here's where the behavior shifts as you age. When you're young, avoiding help might look like rebellion, like independence. People admire it even. You're self-sufficient. You don't need anyone. But as you get older, the same behavior starts to look different. It looks like loneliness. It looks like someone who can't connect. And the thing is, both versions are true. You're still protecting yourself. But the world around you has changed. The people around you have changed. And suddenly, the walls that kept you safe feel like a prison. Because the brain doesn't actually want isolation. It wants safety. And for a long time, isolation was the safest option. But there comes a point where the thing that saved you starts to hurt you. And you're caught between two instincts. The one that says stay closed, and the one that whispers, quietly, maybe it's okay to let someone in. Let me tell you what this behavior really is. It's a regulation strategy. When everything feels like too much, when the world is loud and demanding and relentless, pulling back is how you restore balance. It's how you create space. It's how you remember that you exist as more than just a resource for other people. Think of it like this. Helping is emotional labor, and emotional labor costs something. It costs attention, presence, mental energy. If you've spent your whole life giving those things away without getting anything back, your brain eventually says, no more. Not because it's selfish, because it's trying to survive. This is the part people misunderstand. They see someone who won't help and they assume cruelty. They assume indifference. But most of the time, it's not that at all. It's someone whose system is so overloaded that one more ask feels like it might shatter them completely. And sometimes, avoiding help is about protecting your identity. If you've built your sense of self around being independent, around not needing anyone, then helping or being helped threatens that. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you human in a way that feels too raw, so you stay in your role. The one who doesn't ask, the one who doesn't offer, because at least that role is familiar. At least you know how to be that person. Here's the truth they don't tell you in self-help books. You don't have to fix this. You don't have to become someone who helps everyone all the time. You don't owe the world your exhaustion. What you're doing, the boundaries you're setting, even if they feel harsh, even if they make people uncomfortable, they're keeping you alive. Maybe one day you'll have more to give. Maybe one day your nervous system will feel safe enough to open the door a little wider. Or maybe it won't, and that's okay too. Because you're not here to be endlessly available. You're here to be human, and being human means knowing your limits. It means honoring what you can and cannot carry. So if you're someone who avoids helping, know this: you're not cold, you're not broken. You're someone whose brain learned, probably the hard way, that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is protect your own peace. And there's no shame in that.